Scene 1. The lost ship far above Earth. Only 2 ancient scout ships remained. The third ship was still missing. No explosion, no trace, just gone. Commander Zenvar watched the live feed as the other 2 scout ships tried to stay in orbit. But something was wrong. Their engines flickered, lights dimmed, even the strongest shields felt weak. Earth's gravity is pulling harder than it should, said Teller. The young dataseer. Zenvar narrowed his eyes. Gravity doesn't act like that unless it's being controlled. By who? Teller asked. Zenvar didn't answer. Scene 2. The moon is not a moon, Commander. Lysick stood on the bridge of the second scout ship. Her ship had scanned Earth's moon 3 times already, but now strange patterns were showing. Sir, said her pilot, the moon is hollow inside. What? Lysick turned sharply. There's a structure. Metal. No, not metal. Something else, something we've never seen before. A machine, as big as the moon itself. Back on the main ship, Teller received the same readings. He whispered, the moon isn't real. Suddenly, power across all scout ships dropped by 40%. Alarms rang. Earth had scanned them back. Scene 3. Ancient warnings in the deep archives of the ancients. Commander Zenvar found a forgotten scroll. Dusty and cracked, it held one single line. Earth is not a planet, it is a tomb, and a weapon. He asked the AI librarian, who wrote this. The AI, ancient and barely functional, answered, the last survivor of the NHL Empire before Earth erased them. Erased, Zenvar whispered. Every star, every planet, turned to dust. By Earth's wrath. But how? The AI only answered with one word. Humans. Scene for human ruins in deep space far from Earth. Hidden in a black nebula. One of the ancients' science vessels discovered something terrifying, an old space station, that it was broken, drifting for tens of thousands of years. Inside were skeletons, not of ancients, not of any known species, but of humans. The walls had Earth symbols, stars, fire, a burning sword, and one phrase written in every language known. We stood alone once, we can do it again. At the center of the station was a small black cube. When the ancients touched it, it played a message. If you hear this, we are asleep. Do not wake us. Scene 5. Earth reacts. The scout ship closest to Earth suddenly lost all contact. Then a beam of blue light shot out from Earth's surface. It wasn't a weapon, it was a scan, but one that penetrated everything: shields, armor, even minds. Lysick screamed as her memories flashed. She saw humans in war, burning enemies with thought alone, lifting cities into the sky, and laughing in the face of extinction. Her eyes turned white for a moment, and then silence. Her ship went dark. Scene 6. The return of Reynold. Flash memory from the ruins. The ancients recovered a name, Commander Reynold. He was a human, but he wasn't ordinary. Tell or accessed a vision from the ancient scrolls. He saw a memory: Reynold standing alone before an army of machines. He raised one hand, and they all stopped moving. The memory ended with Reynold looking into the stars, and whispering, if Earth sleeps, the galaxy survives. If Earth wakes, run. Scene 7. Emergency Council of the Ancients. The main ancient council met again in panic. Elder Verne, the oldest of them all, stood before the circle. We have made a mistake, he said. We poked a sleeping fire. Some said Earth must be destroyed before it fully awakens. Others warned, you cannot destroy what watches. Zenvar stepped forward. We started this. We will finish it, but not with war, with truth. He turned to the council. I will go to Earth myself. Scene 8. Earth's warning. As Zenvar prepared to descend to Earth, a final message was received from the planet. That it came through all channels, in all languages. The message was clear. You are not the first to come. You will not be the last. But remember this, we are Earth. We burned the stars once. We can burn again. The message ended with coordinates. To a hidden base on Mars. Scene 1. Mars base awakens. Commander Zenvar's personal ship slowly descended toward Mars. The red planet looked empty. No cities, no ships, no signs of life. But the coordinates sent from Earth led to a mountain range as his ship neared. The dust cleared, and a massive door was revealed, shaped like a triangle, covered in symbols that matched no known language. The door opened without a signal, as if it knew who had arrived. Scene to the room of records inside the mountain. Zenvar entered a silent chamber. Cold lights turned on as he stepped forward. There were holograms, scrolls, shattered armor, and bones. Not human, not ancient, but many different species. All from known and unknown galactic empires. All long dead. Some skulls still had terror frozen on their faces. On the wall behind them was carved a line. They came to conquer, they never returned. Scene 3. The echo of the pastor pedestal stood at the center. On it, a sphere the size of a human head. As Zenvar touched it, the room changed. A vision appeared. He saw an alien fleet approach Earth thousands of years ago. A powerful race called the Kermath, known for planet-killing weapons. They had destroyed hundreds of worlds, but when they reached Earth, they simply vanished. Ships crumbled mid-space. Pilots screamed in terror at something no one could see, and then nothing. The last recording showed one Kermath general saying, "It's not a planet, it's a mind scene for who were the children of flame." Back on the mothership, Teller and Elder Verne decoded more scrolls. Each one mentioned the same name again and again, Children of Flame. They weren't just humans. They were the first defenders of the galaxy. Warriors who could control gravity, build machines that lived, and speak to planets. But something had changed. They had become too powerful, too dangerous. Other races feared them, and united to erase them. A silent war was fought against Earth. But Earth didn't die. It went silent, that it chose to sleep. Scene 5. The broken alien settler found an ancient council log. Thousands of species had voted to seal Earth forever. Not to kill it, but to forget it. They erased Earth from maps, destroyed records, swore never to speak of it again. Only the ancients remembered, and even they buried the memory in fear. But Earth never forgot. In the Mars chamber, Zenvar found a massive door. On it were engraved words, "In Old Galactic we stood alone. We burned alone, and we shall rise alone." He entered. Scene 6. The chamber of names inside. Thousands of names floated in the air. Each name glowed in soft light. Zenvar realized. These were not just humans, these were warriors. Each one had once commanded fleets, defended galaxies, ended wars. One name glowed brighter than all the rest. Commander Reynold, and under it, a note. Status: sleeping. Last command: await reawakening if the stars scream again. Scene 7. The cry of the stars. Suddenly, the walls of the chamber shook. Across the galaxy, something had moved. A dark energy, older than time, had started rising again. It was not human. Not ancient, but something else. The same thing the Children of Flame once defeated. Teller gasped as he looked into the sensor readings. The stars, they're screaming again. Scene 8. Earth sends a second message all across the ancient fleet. The message came again, but this time the voice was clear. Human, calm. You tried to bury us. You feared what we became. But now the old darkness returns. You are not ready. We are. And then, one final line. Reynold is waking up. Scene 1. Orbit over Earth. Total silence only. One ancient scout ship remained above Earth. The others were either disabled or gone. Commander Zenvar was still deep inside the Mars facility. But above, his fleet watched the planet. Nervously, clouds over Earth stopped moving. Not slowed. Stopped. Double quote, sir. One pilot whispered, "The planet is looking at us." Scene 2. Hidden systems. Wake miles under the Pacific Ocean. Something moved. A giant circular machine, covered in coral and rust, suddenly lit up with red lights. The water boiled around it. In the Himalayan mountains, what looked like a rock cracked open. A massive gun emerged, quiet, deadly old, but fully operational. Across Earth, hidden systems came online. Machines that had not moved in 50,000 years were waking up. A voice echoed in Earth's deep network. Defense Protocol 001, Planet Watch mode activated. Scene 3. Ancient tech can't compete in the remaining scout ship. Systems started failing. The crew tried to reboot shields and sensors. Nothing worked. "We are being scanned," said a terrified engineer, "but not with tech. It's like a mind is scanning us." Back on the mothership, Teller stared at the data stream. "It's impossible," he whispered. "Our data walls are being read and rewritten." Elder Verne appeared behind him. "They are not scanning us to learn. They are scanning us to judge." Scene 4. Moon awakens. Earth's moon, silent for ages, suddenly shifted. A glowing red line appeared around its surface in ancient circuit pattern. A deep, bass-like hum filled space. It wasn't natural. It was a machine, a massive AI war structure built to protect Earth long ago, and it had now reactivated inside the command ship. Everyone froze as a new message appeared. System online. Defense grid fully operational. Threat level observing. Scene 5. Mind-to-mind contact. Commander Zenvar, still inside the Mars chamber, felt something strange. His head ached. Then, everything around him stopped moving. Time slowed. Lights dimmed. And then he was no longer alone in his mind. A voice spoke inside him, not through sound, but through thought. "You come as explorers. You left as betrayers. You erased us, and now you return. We remember everything." Zenvar dropped to his knees. We didn't know. We were told Earth was a danger to all life. Yes, because we fought a war your kind could never understand. Scene 6, Earth's Defense AI reacts. Earth's Orbital Defense AI, known only as Sentinel, locked onto the ancient fleet. Missiles didn't launch. Lasers didn't fire. Instead, Earth's satellites blinked. Not random lights but a pattern. Code. Old. Human code. One ancient ship tried to decode it. In 5 seconds, the code rewrote the ship's navigation system. It now faced the sun. Autopilot locked. Escape impossible. They were at Earth's mercy. Scene 7. Revelation from the Pastilla decoded a scroll recovered from the Mars base. It spoke of the last flame war when humans fought an unknown enemy from outside the galaxy. In that war, Earth used living weapons, planet-sized ships, and time-stopping bombs. They had to go silent afterward, because even their allies feared what they had become. We chose silence, the scroll read, because power without control is destruction. We chose sleep, until the dark returns. And now, that dark was returning. Scene 8, Final Warning. Scene 8, Final Warning. Commander Zenvar returned to the fleet with a message burned into his mind. He stood before the Ancient Council's hologram. I have seen the truth, he said. They were not monsters. They were guardians, and they still are. Just then, Earth sent one final message across all frequencies. We are Earth. We protected the stars once, and we remember who turned away. Now the galaxy must choose, hide, or stand beside us again. Scene 1, Fear in the Council. The ancient High Council met inside a massive crystal chamber floating in deep space. These were beings who had outlived stars. But today, their faces were filled with worry. Commander Zenvar stood before them. I have seen Earth. I have touched its memory. I have heard its voice. The elders said nothing. Then one of them finally spoke. They remember. Zenvar nodded slowly. And they are not angry. Not yet. Scene 2, Divided voices. The council began to argue. Some shouted, we must destroy Earth now, before it fully awakens. Others warned, no, you saw what one satellite did. Their full power is beyond understanding. Elder Cyril, the youngest among the council, whispered, this is the first time. I feel fear. Elder Vern looked at them all. You are not afraid of Earth, he said. You are afraid of your own past, of what we did to them. Scene 3, a psychic elder touches the signal. One of the oldest beings, Elder Newer, known for her psychic powers, stepped forward. I will touch the signal, she said. Let Earth speak to me directly, Zenvar warned her. It may break your mind. She sat in the center of the council and let the Earth signal connect to her thoughts. For a moment, there was silence. Then, she screamed. Images rushed through her mind, burning suns, stars crying, planets being torn apart, but also humans standing alone, defiant, unbroken, beautiful in their fury, and one man among them, standing in front of a fallen moon, eyes glowing like fire. She collapsed. When she woke, she whispered, Reynold is not a name, it is a warning. Scene for Secrets of Commander Reynold. Back on Mars, Envar and Teller explored a sealed section of the base. Inside, they found a cryopodesty, ancient but still active. A single figure floated inside, tall, human, but his heartbeat was strange, deep, echoing, not natural. A screen lit up beside the pod. Subject, Commander Elias Reynold. Status, standby orders, wake if the darkness stirs again. Who is the darkness? Teller asked. The base AI replied, you called it extinction, he called it sport. Scene 5, The Ancients First. Defeat. Ancient historical logs, long sealed, were recovered. It told the truth. 51,000 years ago, when a dark force from another galaxy entered the Milky Way, even the ancients lost. Entire civilizations were consumed. But Earth fought alone, and won. Humans destroyed that enemy, but their weapons were so terrifying, even their allies turned on them later. It was not Earth's power that scared the galaxy, it was their will to fight without fear, even when alone. Scene 6, The First. Terrell de Verne, who had never shown emotion, sat alone in his chamber. A silent tear ran down his face. I voted to erase them, he whispered. I helped bury the bravest race in the galaxy. Behind him, a wall displayed an old image of Earth before, its silence. Children running, cities glowing, stars watching. They were better than us, he said, and we called them dangerous. Scene 7, Darkness returns far away, deep beyond known space. A star collapsed unnaturally, not in a natural death, but like it was eaten. Sensors across the galaxy picked it up. Something was moving. Teller ran into the council chamber. It's happening again. The darkness is back. Everyone turned to XEN-VAAR. He said only one thing, then we must wake the one who ended it the first. Time, Scene 8. Reynolds awakens. The Mars base dimmed. Alarms rang softly. The cryopod unlocked with a hiss. Commander Elias Reynolds opened his eyes. They glowed like twin stars. He stepped out slowly, wearing armor older than memory. He looked at Zenovar. Is the war over? Zenovar shook his head. It's starting. Again Reynolds nodded. Then Earth must rise. He raised one hand toward the sky, and far away, Earth's systems lit up like fire. Scene 1. First breath after 50,000 years. Commander Elias Reynolds stood in the cold chamber, breathing slowly. His body was human, but stronger, built for war, for survival, for something far beyond the present galaxy. The lights of the Mars base reflected off his silver-black armor, old but untouched by time. Zenovar asked softly, "You were frozen for 50,000 years. Do you remember?" Reynolds turned, his eyes glowing steady. "I remember everything." Scene 2. Memories of fire. As Reynolds walked through the corridors, his mind drifted back. He remembered the Great War. He remembered the darkness, an enemy that could twist planets, drink suns, and erase time. He remembered the day Earth stood alone, abandoned by the galaxy. He remembered when he became the last commander. Reynolds had ordered the final stand, and somehow, they won, but the cost was too high. Earth chose silence. Reynolds chose sleep. Scene 3. Earth's war machines. Responders. Reynolds stepped outside the Mars facility. Earth felt him, across the oceans, sky, and core machines hidden under mountains, deep in oceans, and orbiting above woke up. Gigantic mechs shaped like titans walked from the sea. AI. Warships lifted from beneath the desert sands. Orbiting satellites locked into new formations. A single word lit across them all. Commander Reynolds online. Scene for the Ancients watch in silence on board the ancient mothership. Every screen turned to Earth. Even their most powerful leaders had no words. Elder Verne whispered, "He didn't just return. Earth obeys him." Teller added, "They never built weapons. They built a system that would wait for one man, a warrior who didn't die, but waited." Scene 5. A message from Reynolds. Reynolds appeared before the galaxy, not through video, but through thought transmission. Every advanced race, council, and fleet heard him. Inside their minds, "You forgot who we were. You called us dangerous. But when the stars cried, you came looking for us again. Now the darkness returns. We will face it again. But not for your peace. For our own justice. We are Earth, and I am its memory." Scene 6. The return of the darkness. A fleet of unknown ships entered the outer rim. They weren't made of metal, but of dark matter and time. They were feeding on energy, erasing suns. Galactic forces tried to stop them, all failed. Nothing touched them, nothing slowed them. But then, the darkness paused. They sensed something. Commander Reynolds had activated Earth's old protocols. The enemy remembered him, and it feared. Scene 7. Humanity's hidden legacy on board Earth's Defense Corps. A file unlocked. It showed that humans were not only warriors, they were builders of balance. They had placed ancient signals across the stars to trap the darkness. The final trap was Earth itself, Teller said. Shocked, they made Earth a bait, and Reynolds the trigger. Elder Cyril added, "He didn't sleep, he waited." Scene 8. A quiet conversation. Commander Reynolds stood alone near a hill on Mars, looking at Earth in the sky. Zenovar joined him. "You hate us, don't you?" Reynolds shook his head. "No, I understand. Fear makes cowards of even gods. But we never asked for worship, only truth." He looked to the stars. "And now I will give you truth. One last time." Scene 1. The enemy moves in the black space beyond the last stars. They came, not with sound, not with light, but with hunger. The darkness moved like smoke and shadow, swallowing stars and ships. Thousands of systems vanished. No signal, no debris, just silence. The ancient fleet fired their strongest weapons. Nothing worked. The darkness wasn't a fleet. It was a force. It had no leader, no body, no fear. Only one thing made it pause. A signal from Earth. One word. Ready. Scene to Earth. Fully awakens. Earth's core glowed red. Not with lava, but with energy from the forgotten age. In orbit. Old machines that had slept for eons formed a ring. They weren't just weapons. They were living systems, bound to one man. In Antarctica, a city of glass and light rose from beneath the ice. A control tower. Inside it, Commander Reynolds stood alone. He placed his hand on the center panel. A female voice spoke, calm and ancient. "Welcome back, Commander. All systems online." "Shall we burn the sky again?" Reynolds nodded once. "Yes. Let's show them the flame still lives." Scene 3. The ancients beg for unity. The ancient council sent a transmission to Reynold Elder. Vern bowed his head. We turned away before. We judged without knowing. But now, we stand with you. Commander Reynold looked at the stars. You don't stand with me, he said. You stand behind me. Scene 4, Earth's true power revealed. The ring above Earth split open. The Soul Blades 12 massive ships, powered by star cores, built during the last war. Each was the size of a moon, shaped like burning swords. Each one had a human AI, trained in only one thing, victory. One ship, Blade 9, opened communication. With Reynold we live again. Commander, permission to engage. Burn carefully, Reynold replied. As always, the AI answered. Scene 5, first clash with the darkness. The Soul Blades launched into deep space at light-breaking speed. They met the enemy head-on where other species had failed. Earth struck differently. They didn't fight with force, they fought with pattern, sound, and frequency. Their first strike burned a piece of the darkness away. For the first time, the darkness screamed. The galaxy heard it. The ancients shivered. Teller whispered, they can be hurt. Reynold replied coldly, they can be ended. Scene 6, the flame lives all over the galaxy. Sleeping human systems activated. On moons, old allies found secret bunkers marked by Earth. Inside were messages. If you find this, know we never forgot you. The children of flame will rise again. On a quiet planet near the galactic edge, a small human child looked up at the sky. Her eyes glowed for just a second. Earth's legacy was not just Raynold. It was everywhere. Scene 7. The darkness remembers. The core of the darkness finally revealed. ITSELF A shape, like a black star, pulsing slowly. Inside it, strange voices spoke in a language older than time. They still live. The fire still burns. And then, find the commander. Break the flame, or fall again. It began moving faster toward Earth. Scene 8. Final words before the battle in Earth's command chamber. Reynold stood before the screen. Ancient fleets aligned behind Earth now. Racers who once erased them, now ready to follow. Reynold closed his eyes. He remembered Earth's silence. The betrayal, the long wait. Now it was time to speak with action. He raised one hand. The soul blades lit up. The system shook. And he spoke. This time no one runs. This time we finish it. Flame protocol, ignite. Scene 1. The darkness reaches Sol. The enemy finally arrived. A wave of shadow filled with whispers and screams crossed Neptune. Saturn's rings cracked. Jupiter's storms turned silent. The darkness was not just a fleet, was a storm of memory, fear, and death. But in front of Earth they stopped. 12 soul blades, hundreds of allied fleets, and one man stood between them. Commander Elias Reynold. Scene 2. Last words of the ancients. The ancient council watched Earth's final stand. Elder Vern spoke, his voice low and honest. We were wrong. We feared you, because we could never be like you. He turned to his fleet. No more watching, no more silence. Today we follow Earth, and for the first time in 50,000 years, the ancients sent their full war fleet into a battle not for power but for unity. Scene 3. Flame protocol activated. Reynold stood at the center of Earth's orbital command ring. His hands moved across the panel. Soul blades charged. Earth's core linked to its satellites. And then, flame protocol, full burn, target, darkness core. 12 beams of living light tore through space. They weren't just weapons, they were reminders. Each beam carried human memory, human pain, and human courage. They struck the darkness, and, for the first time, it bled. Scene 4. The Battle of Solol. Racers joined. Ancient warships, floating crystal guns, energy dragons from the Zatlan, moonshields from the Trevel, and thousands more. They fought side by side with Earth's machines. The sky burned, the stars screamed, and Earth stood tall. Commander Reynold's voice guided every strike, not like a leader, like a lighthouse in chaos. Scene 5. Face to face, Reynold boarded Blade 1, the largest soul ship. He went straight into the core of the darkness. There he saw it, a black sun, pulsing with stolen life. Voices tried to tempt him. We can make you eternal. You can rule alone. Reynold smiled. I already was eternal. And I chose sleep. He raised his arm, good night, and fired the last flame. Scene 6. Silence after storm. The darkness cracked, then shattered. Stars returned. Planets glowed again. Every fleet stopped, watching the dark fade. In the command room, everyone held their breath. Then Earth's systems spoke. Threat removed. Life status, stable. Commander, alive. And far above, Reynold's ship floated peacefully. Scene 7. The flame lives on back. On Earth, Reynolds stood in front of the new Galactic Council, no longer a threat, no longer forgotten, just a man who remembered. He spoke softly. We never wanted to be gods. We only wanted to be guardians. If danger comes again, we'll still be here. He looked at the stars, and next time, you won't have to find us, because now you remember. Final scene, one child, one sparking a small village on a distant planet. A child looked up. She wore a simple shirt, on its back an old human symbol. Her eyes glowed for just a moment. The flame was not just in machines, or one man, it now lived in the hearts of billions. The children of flame had returned, not as conquerors, but as hope.